In this tutorial, I'll show you how to add molding to a job. Now I've designed a very basic organizer, and if you take a look at the top view, you can see that I made the tower 16 inches deep as compared to the rest of the shelving that is 14 inches deep. This makes the tower stand out a bit, and it becomes more of a feature within the room. I'll also explain a little later in this tutorial another reason I make some of the units deeper. So let's go back to the elevation view. Now I'm just going to change the dimensions, and to add molding, go up to the main menu and click on Molding. On the upper right, you will see a molding library window. Now if you scroll through this list, you'll see that there's literally hundreds and hundreds of different moldings. Sherwood Shelving only carries 5 different styles of molding. These 5 styles are thermofoil wrap molding, and we carry them in all of our stock colors. They're positioned at the very top of this list for convenience. They are the CM1V, the CM2V, the CM4V, the CM6V, and the CM9V. Now when you click on any of these options, in the window below you'll see the molding itself with the dimensions. So with these 5 different options, you see the different styles of molding. Now I'd like to point out here that the CM4V is not your typical crown molding and would only be used for special applications. Make sure you have samples of each molding so that both you and your customer know what they look like. Once you have selected the molding that you want, you have a couple of options of how you can add the molding to the cabinet. You can select the change molding in this room or change on one or more units. Let's try this one first. If we click on change on one or more units, then a selection window appears with all of the units in this room listed. Let's say that I want to have molding just on my tower. If I select that and press OK, then molding will appear on my tower. Now this really wouldn't work very good because my tower is the same height as the rest of my shelving. So let's back this up and undo that. Go under molding again, and let's select a different type of molding. Let's say I want CM9V, and if I want to add this to the entire room, click on change molding in this room, and it's as simple as that to add molding. Now when designing organizers that will have crown molding, keep in mind that the crown molding usually comes in 8-foot lengths. So what I try to do is add some kind of feature every 7 or so feet to bring the depth of the shelving out. In this way, I don't get a joint right in the middle of a long run. Sometimes those are difficult to hide or to make it look really good. Now sometimes this just isn't practical to do, but if you can, it really does make the installation look much better. So let's just zoom in on this. And you can see that there's a nice miter there on the tower unit. And if we go to the top view, it doesn't show the molding, but you can visualize how that molding would come back to the other cabinet and go around. And it really does make for a nice look. When you have lots of miters, it really does make it a little bit more difficult to install a crown molding. And for this reason, we highly recommend that you have an experienced cabinet installer whenever installing crown molding.